finding the slope of a line if we have 2 points on that line. When we talk about the slope of a line, we're talking about how steep the line is, whether it rises or falls left or right. So really, when we talk about slope, what we're saying is, and this is what I like to say, this is rise over run, essentially. So what this means, if we have a line, and let's do a graph here and put a line in. Yeah, we'll put a line in. Oh, I don't know. We'll have 1 point here and 1 point here. So then if we draw a straight line or a somewhat straight line, we'll do that. So it's rise over run, and this ought to be somewhat self-explanatory in a way, because when we look at rise over run, rise is how far up or down. This corresponds to what we see on the y-axis, where the run corresponds to what we see on the x. And what we can do, since we have 2 points here on this line, we can look at the difference. The rise is how far up this line goes from one point to another. The run is how far the line goes from one point to another. So we have our run here, and this is our rise. So what we're meaning by this is we're saying, hey, what's the vertical distance? What's the change in vertical distance over the change in horizontal? So we could say the change in y over the change in x. And you might be saying, well, what the heck does that mean for me mathematically? Well, let's look at our points here. Here we have -2 on the x, -2 on the y. So we have 2 points. We have -2, -2. And we have another point here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 on the x and 1 on the y. So the 2 points we have are -2, -2, and 4 and 1. These are the 2 points we know. When we talk about what is the rise or what is the change in y, what we're saying is what is the distance between these points vertically. Now, the way we want to do this is we want to look at one of these sets of numbers as set number 1 and one as set number 2, because we have a formula we use for calculating the slope of a line. Now, the slope of a line is denoted by the variable or letter m. M is what we use to denote the slope. Okay? So if we see that using an equation, using m does mean slope or rise over run. So we talk about this, we're going to say how we calculate this is we're going to take the value for our y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So what this means? Well, we have 2 points here, and each point has an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. What we're going to do is take the y-coordinate from the second point and subtract the y-coordinate from the first point. Then we're going to take the x-coordinate from the second point and subtract the x-coordinate from the first point. So if we look at this, y2 is 1, y1 is -2, so we're having 1 minus -2 over. Now, x2 is 4, and x1 is -2, so we'll say 4 minus -2. So if we look at this now, 1 minus -2 is 3, and 4 minus -2 is 6. So basically our slope is 3, 6, or we can simplify that to 1/2. Well, what this means is every time we move up one space, we move right 2 spaces. So up 1 over 2 here, up 1 over 2 here, up 1 over 2 here. And all these points are going to be on our line. So basically, if we look at this and we say, hey, the distance here is 3, the distance here is 6, well, that's what we have. So we're taking the difference in the y value over the difference in the x value. So let's look at one more quick example of this, and we're not going to use a graph this time. What we're going to use is a line. And we're going to say find the slope of a line that passes through 2 points. And the 2 points are going to be 3, 8, and -1, -4. Okay. So we don't need to have a graph, we just need our points here. Remember, the slope, m, is equal to rise over run, or change in y over change in x. So if we said, what are our y values? Well, we have -4 and 8. Okay. Well, let's start. So 8 minus -4. There's our y. And our x, 3 minus -1. And this 8 minus -4 is 12. 3 minus -1 is 4. 12 over 4 is 3. Our slope is 3. Now, here's the thing that we have to be careful of the slope. If we're using this ordered pair as our y1 and x1, then we have to use this pair as y2 and x2. And we can switch them, but whatever pair 1 is has to be the sub 1 of each x and y. Whatever pair 2 is, because we can do this the other way. We can do -4 minus 8 over -1 minus 3, and we get -12 over -4, which we know is 12 fourths, which is equal to 3. So no matter which way we do it, we'll get the proper slope, as long as we remember that if this is ordered pair 1, then that means this is x1 and this is y1. So I hope this helps you with finding the slope from 2 points on a line. We'll be back again on another video. Until then, take care. Bye.